Oh my gosh, I literally failed. My original goals for this class, I didn't have anything like super duper specific. I kind of just wanted to become a better writer in general. I've taken screenwriting classes before. Like I took some in high school, I took some in my bachelor's, but I felt like they were all very beginner level classes. Like they were mainly focusing on formatting, and I kind of just wanted to develop myself more as a writer instead of just learning the grammar, the rules, the structure. I wanted to learn like how to make a story good, like how to make something that's fun to watch. So I really enjoyed this class because I was able to meet my goals. Our professor kind of just like understood us all as individuals and kind of found out what it is that we were good at and what we could use some work on, and she went from there when it came to telling us instruction. But I learned how to develop my stories and just like understanding some more of the plot rules when it comes to like making something that's fun to watch that holds people's attention. So what I learned about myself this month is that I'm a very structured person, even in my writing. I like to plan everything out ahead of time when it comes to the plot, when it comes to what's going to happen, where it's going to happen. I literally plan everything out on a document before I even start writing. And planning is good, but if you over-plan, you're kind of just like putting yourself into a box and you never let your characters run free. So what I learned how to do was just kind of like learn how to leave that box a little. Like it's still important to plan and, you know, understand where your story is going, but just like when you have a better understanding of your characters, you can kind of like let the characters guide you into the story instead of letting the story guide your characters. And that's something that I think I got a lot better at in this class. It's basically like the same thing. I learned that, you know, I'm a little too straight and narrow as an artist, I would say, especially because I'm more into like the producer side of things. I like organizing things, I like talking about budgeting and financing, and I like planning. But, you know, as an artist, we definitely need to let ourselves run free. And that's something that I feel like I did not only with my writing, but just like in general in the class, because one of our assignments was going on artist dates and hanging out with yourself basically and trying new things. I can still manage doing all of the work, but also make sure I make some time to like not only hang out with friends, but hang out with myself. So in this class, it was addressed that I talk a little quietly. I don't always sound very authoritative when I talk, and as someone who's hoping to not only be a producer but to run her own company, that's not a very good thing. I was kind of instructed during my pitches to like make sure I add a little more bass to my voice, make sure my voice is coming like I'm breathing like from the belly and I sound like very sure of myself when I talk, because it's not like I didn't sound confident, I just didn't sound loud. And that can reflect on like how much authority my voice has. So something that I think I can take from this class and bring into the future is basically just like what I learned from doing presentations and pitching in this class, just learning how to talk with more authority, learning how to make my voice sound a little louder, especially when I'm talking to larger groups of people who are privy to judging someone for talking quietly. Basically just learning how to be more creative and learning how to take more time for myself. I never really hung out with myself before this class, and I feel like that's something that I can definitely take away from this, not only for my career, but just for me as a person, as a fun way to de-stress. If I can go back to the beginning of the month and kind of give myself some advice, I would probably just tell myself like, be open more in the beginning to trying new things. I think I was just like so into my own way of writing since I had been writing since high school that maybe in the first couple of days it took me a second to kind of just like understand what I was doing wrong. Because even though I might have like took screenwriting classes before, the classes that I took were different, and the class that I'm taking here at Full Sail is meant to prepare me for Hollywood, which is where I want to go. So kind of just like open up, accept the lessons. That's what I would tell myself, and have fun, because I was kind of worried about going on these artist dates, because like I said, I never hung out with myself before. So just like have fun in class, do your own thing. That's what I would tell myself. Yeah, I would probably develop my characters a little more, develop the plot a little more. There was a lot of lessons in this class about like the specific structure that you need for plot. So I would make sure that I'm applying that into the script that I wrote for FCP, and I would probably even make a character grid, because I didn't make a character grid for any of the characters I made from my FCP script. So I would probably go back and do that just so I can make the characters come to life. So, out of all of the scripts that I wrote in this class, the last script that I wrote is probably the one that I would use as my thesis. So, it's basically just about a woman who comes across a magical lamp and it gives her magical wishes. The reason why I want to do that is because I've always wanted to kind of dive into the genie in a bottle genre from the Save the Cat books. I've always made dramas before. I've made like one romance, but like I've never actually dived into the fantastical side of film, and the reason why is because fantastical films are harder to produce, especially as a student with very limited resources and without knowing anyone who's like really good at CGI. But I really wanted to push myself, because my favorite stories are ones that have a fantastical element to it. So it doesn't need to be like high fantasy, but just something with something like time travel or something. I find that the most entertaining. Stories that have a message for an audience, but also stories that have something fun, something that's not real. A balance between reality and something that's completely unrealistic is something that I would like to work on in the future, and that's why I would like to use it as my thesis, because I want my thesis to reflect what I would like to do going forward. That's it. Thank you so much for listening or watching my video, and have a nice day and drink wine. Bye.